Hello everyone, this is Mauricio Perea. We are here in Framingham in this park. It's beautiful. And I want to welcome everybody. Sorry, it's the winter. Welcome everybody to the Boston Coalition for Autism. I'm going to show you this beautiful area. This pond is famous because there was a Harmony Grove meetings around here. So that's part of Framingham history. So this is Boston Coalition for Autism, and welcome to our channel. And the channel in this organization exists for a simple but very powerful reason. To bring clarity, support, and visibility to autistic people and their families, especially those who have been historically overlooked. My goal with every video is to offer education that is accurate, compassionate, and grounded in neuroscience, psychology, and real autistic experiences. Okay, while we're looking here, you see the swamps? This all the way there, there's a lot of swamps. And then also some dogs and geese. There's this, for some swamps is the last spot before they migrate to the south, as many other migrant species. But those are the details that you're going to find in our videos. But today I want to share the purpose of the Boston Coalition for Autism and explain the 4 pillars that guide all our programs, trainings, and community work. All right, let's take that route so we can go down there. So the pillar 1 is a late diagnosis. And one of the biggest challenges in autism today is a late diagnosis, because many people grow up with not knowing they are autistic. They spend their entire childhood masking, struggling, and being misunderstood. Some make into adulthood, carrying years of anxiety, burnout. Struggling with that is one of the some hardest part of what we do. Some make it into the adulthood, carrying years of anxiety. Depression too is another thing. A sense that something is wrong with me, when the truth is they were simply autistic and nobody recognized it. That's frustrating for the person who's suffering it, but also for us as a professionals that why somebody missed that part. And that's why we are here. The Boston Coalition for Autism is committed to change that, really. Our work focuses on education for parents, adults, teachers, and assistants so they can recognize the signs of autism across the lifespan. Not just to little children, not just in the stereotypical ways portrayed in the media. We talk about the experience of autistic adults. We teach how autism looks beyond the checklist. And we help people understand that the diagnosis is not about labeling. It's about access, support. We cannot cross that. Sorry, but we have to talk and think about how to make it to the other line. So, and we help people understand that diagnosis is more than just what people knows in the general terms. So, support, understanding, and self-understanding and dignity. So our pillar late diagnosis is about giving people the information they should have since childhood. So we're picking up from many years of all these things that shouldn't be. What you see at the other side is downtown Framingham, but that's the station for the cargo train. CSS is the company. It's a big one. We're gonna make some videos later on that side too. So, but we have to enjoy this beautiful nature show on the swans. And they stay. Some of those swans that stay here. Some of those they don't travel anymore, and it's because they can bear with these temperatures in Framingham. All right, so let's go back to business. Autism um, diagnosis in females. That's the second pillar of organization. So the second pillar is one of the most urgent autism diagnosis in females because girls and women are undiagnosed and shocking rates. That's one of the reasons that we are here. We create this organization to help that area. Not because they are less autistic, it's because they diagnose system and the traditional profile were built around boys. Many autistic girls learn to mask early. They imitate social behavior, they camouflage, they struggle internally, but appear fine on the outside. So that's, uh, in other words, you can see a person who behaves like a typical neurotypical adult. And then when they go home is when they have the discharge of all these situations. So the list of the misdiagnosis, misunderstandings, and years of suffering are very present. At the Boston Coalition for Autism, we focus on changing this narrative. We train educators to understand the female autistic profile. We create resources that highlight difference in communication, sensory processing, and emotional expression. And we emphasize that masking is not a skill, it's a survival mechanism. So don't judge people who has this um, mechanism of masking. And the female brain is, in autistic females, is really good at doing it. Has special skills. We're going to talk about this in another video, how the brain in females works. So by focusing this pillar, we make a space for autistic girls and women to be seen, heard, and recognized. That's the second pillar, one of the most important goals. The third pillar is a very, very delicate topic because it's addiction in autism. The third pillar is one of the very few organizations talk about addiction in autistic people. There's a lot of organizations who work on addiction, but just a few who, for like us, who can recognize the very fine line between addiction in typical people and addiction in a person with autism. I'm sorry, an autistic person. I said something wrong. There's no person with autism, it's an autistic people. Okay, clarifying. So autistic individuals often face intense sensory overload, chronic stress, social exclusion, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, um, where many substances like alcohol, they become tools to reduce anxiety and to feel socially accepted too, to cope with sensory overwhelm, or to numb emotional pain too. But this coping strategy can quickly become an addiction. So the people, the autistic people start to use these um, substances like alcohol or any other drugs to numb their symptoms or to feel socially accepted. And the alcohol inhibits the behavior. So that's another thing. And then they become the addiction. The addiction is very particular. So we're gonna have videos on these too. Um, but when they cop this strategy and become addicted, there's not much help in the organizations, hospitals, and other resources. Now, the Boston Coalition for Autism is committed to raising awareness about the link between autism and addiction and create prevention. That's prevention strategies that respect neurodiversity. That's part of the difference. We explore many autistic individuals. Uh, Sorry for this call. So many autistic individuals are very vulnerable. to substance abuse. They don't even know they are into the addiction until because they don't have the social skills to recognize what it is. So what emotional needs are under need of that, or how communities can create supportive environments instead of judgment. A person with addiction is judged immediately. Now picture a person with autism, how they double judgment. Yeah. So we want autistic individuals to have access to rehabilitation approaches that are autistic friendly, sensory aware, and trauma informed. Addiction should not be a taboo topic in autism. It should be understood with the same compassion we give to another challenge. The variety of birds here, I don't know if you can see, my camera is not that good, but it's a beautiful, beautiful birds that we can see also too. And look at that, dog is beautiful too. Yeah. So, and the last pillar is the pillar number 4, the migration and autism. So the fourth pillar is deeply personal for us, immigration and autism, because as you can see, you can hear my accent. I'm an immigrant. I'm not autistic, but that's part of my job to help people who migrate, not only with autism, but I'm focusing in that area. So immigrant families face unique challenges too: language barriers, cultural differences, fear of discrimination, in many cases not knowing where to start with their child or themselves, maybe an autistic. So that's a very few organizations who really in this area of Massachusetts um, do that. We did a research before we started the organization, and there's no organizations who work on this in this area. There's some in the California area, many, but in many countries, autism is also misunderstood or stigmatized. So when they migrate, they have not knowing, or they think that if it's not showing, it's not existing. So we have to dismantle all those beliefs. So when families arrive to the United States, they are often lost. They don't know how to navigate evaluations, the IEPs, which is the individual educational program, for the meetings, or how to support the systems. There's many systems in place, but they don't know it. So they may not find information in their own language, or they feel intimidated or invisible. Sometimes you can understand what you read, even if it's in your own language. I mean, you don't understand what it's saying. You understand the words, but not the meaning of it. So that's a part of a job. Now, the Boston Coalition for Autism works to bridge that gap. So we support immigrant families with culturally aware education, simple language explanations, community outreach. We help parents understand autism is not a tragedy, but it's a variation of the human brain. And we advocate for immigrant adults who were never evaluated as a children. Now you are seeking clarification for the first time. So this pillar is about equity representation and giving immigrant families a place where they know I'm not alone. So, and that's to close this because Boston Coalition for Autism has really exists to change lives. That's one of the main goals. Our resources are focused on that. Through these 4 pillars, late diagnosis, autism in females, addiction and autism, and the immigrant experience, we're building community that's informed, empowered, and compassionate. If our mission speaks to you, I invite you to subscribe, share this channel, and be part of this movement. Together, we can create a world where autistic people are not just supported, they're fully valued. That's a big word. But thank you for being here and welcome to the Boston Coalition for Autism. We are now in Framingham. We're going to try as many places as we can go in Massachusetts and parts of the world. And see you in our channel. Please write your comments what you want to hear about because we talked about autism and all the levels. Have a great day. Thank you.